All right. So I don't I don't know how to start this video. Okay. So I have 3,000 over 3,000 subscribers right now. And you know, I'd like to think that most of y'all are genuine subscribers. You like my content for me. And as time goes by, I like to think that it's not a secret. Like people would know that, like, if you're watching my content and you're interacting with me and you watch my videos and you watch my live streams or you see me on live streams and all that stuff, that you would know, or at least have like some inkling of an idea that I'm trans, like I'm a transgender woman. So like it kind of sucks when you go into a place and you're having a good time and then it gets to a discussion and people start talking about something and they don't really know anything about what they're talking about. And then it hurts because you're like, dang, I just felt comfortable here a second ago and now I don't feel so comfortable because these people are pulling up something that the media is saying, or coming in with an uninformed opinion saying, oh, biological woman and trans woman. And of course, when you're born, you have your biological sex that you're born with. But there's variances in that. There's intersex people. There's people born with the wrong chromosomes, the wrong genders, vice versa, all that kind of stuff. And this is a toy collecting channel, so it's not the focus of my channel. It's not something I want to talk about. But like, and this goes for anything. Before you say something, like, do you even know what you're talking about? Are you just watching the news, or have you met someone? Have you taken the time to like talk to someone, or be like, hey, maybe before I form an opinion on this subject that I have no experience of, I should take 5 minutes and read a book, or do a little research and understand that, like, gender identity and gender expression are not really something that someone can choose. And you get into the whole out of binary pronouns, like stuff past they them and all that. And it's like, does it kill you to just acknowledge how someone's feeling and validate them, even if you don't agree with it? Really? Like, I'm a binary trans person. I fit in the binary of being a woman. I associate with womanhood. I associate with being a woman. I, look like woman, talk like woman, all that kind of shit. And like, a lot of people just come into this subject not knowing anything. Like, and it's not to say that someone's identity isn't valid because they're not on medication, because they're not taking hormones. But when someone takes hormones and transitions, it's called a transition for a reason. It's because A, they're socially transitioning. Everyone around them is socially transitioning, adapting to that. And B, their body is transitioning. You're taking a hormone that changes your body, and that's just to match your brain. It's not because you want everyone to like this is not something I talk about on my channel. It's not something I talk about because I don't fucking think that my gender identity, other than being she, her, and appreciating when people, call me that, it has nothing to do with my channel. I'm a female toy collector. I'm a toy collector who identifies as a woman. Like, and I appreciate everyone that respects that. And if you somehow that changes my content, like, I don't know what to tell you. But it just really hurts because you go into a place and you feel welcome and safe, and then I have people asking me, "Are you going to go to all these cons? Are you going to go to all these cons in the deep south?" Um, I can't. Literally can't. I just can't do it. It's how it is. I can't fucking do it. Um, it's not safe. And then, I have people telling me that it'd be safe if I go somewhere. And then I see other people in the chat that I assume were cool because, I talk to them. And then they're saying some off color shit that makes me feel differently. And I'm just like, what? you know. Um, like I said, this isn't something I talk about on my channel because A, it's nobody's business. It's just like, but it's something that's been bothering me. And I don't know if I lose subscribers over it, that's fine. That's okay. That's just how it goes. I'll get in the back. If I don't, I don't. I'm starting a new job. My schedule's going to change. If I lose like 100 subscribers or whatever, it is what it is. I'm just speaking my truth, as it were. Like it just hurts. We all have one thing in common: toys. At least as far as the toy community, and then you can work backwards from there. I have a brother. I have a sister. You have a brother and you have a sister. How's your relationship with them? Not so good. It's great. You work backwards. You find out what's in common, and you find out that by the end of it all, you have a lot more in common with the person that was just talking shit or saying something uneducated than you have not in common. And the thing about rich people, the thing about the media, is they want to bring up this division. They want to split people apart. And when you start attacking a minority, and it's always been a minority. Um, During World War II, we know the Jews were targeted. Coming into after that, well, before that even, we had racism and civil war and slavery, and that was never over. Like that's still going on today. We had the Jim Crow laws. We had all of this stuff in the 60s and the civil rights movement, all that stuff, just so people could have basic human rights. And then you have this law in the UK, or this court ruling, which I hope, I don't know, which J.K. Rowling funded. She personally took money and said, "I'm going to fund this and make sure that trans women in the UK aren't safe." Um, and it's specifically targeting trans women as well. And then you have this bill in Idaho targeting people that have had their breasts removed. If they take off their shirt in public, whether they be a man or a woman, who gives a shit because they don't know the difference. Um, that's going to be a crime, and they'll be a sex offender. Like, do you not realize that there's men that have gynecomastia, which means they have breasts, they have chests like a woman would, and they get that removed, and you're saying, oh, look at that trans man over there, and it's the same thing. Women grow facial hair, so by trying to police trans people existing, you're setting yourself to this hard binary of what a man and a woman is supposed to be, and you're gonna fuck everyone over with it. So it's just like I want y'all to understand that every law that affects someone who's not like you, it's only a matter of time before something is going to affect you. It's not hard to see, especially now, the domino effect that's happening with all this craziness in the USA and elsewhere. Um, the loudest vocal minority has gotten very, very, very loud, and a lot of people got complacent and just hoped that their person next door would do the right thing and go vote or whatever, and they didn't do it. And that's just where we're at right now. And that's not what this is about. This is about, I like to see the toy tube community as one big community, one giant community where everyone, like I said, has that one thing in common. There's not very many women in this collector space, and there's probably even less. Like I know there's even less trans women in this collector space. Um, but like I don't know what to tell y'all other than I'm 5'8". I'm 140 pounds. I look like this. What do you want? Like, what do you want? I literally, I'm just saying, like, I exist. I'm a woman. I identify as a woman. I'm a trans woman. Like, if that's a problem with you, then like, I don't want you to just leave. I want you to like think about this video. I don't know how I'm going to release this because this has nothing to do with my channel, but it's just so, and this is probably my last late night video for a while, and we're getting on 10 minutes here, which is crazy because I didn't mean for it to get this long. But it hurts. Like, it hurts. I have friends in this community, and then I have friends that I've had say stuff, and I'm like, oh, and, and talking to someone is always the best thing, is what I'll say. But just outright saying, hey, I think that trans people are freaks or trans people are whatever, just because that's what you heard. Trans people are people. The first thing that trans people want to do first is exist and be left the fuck alone. Which is to say, be able to walk around in public as ourselves, go home, and not be bothered by anyone. Just like you. Just like anyone else. And if that's really too much to ask, I don't know what to tell you. Because like it's not that hard. It's not. To just be wrong about something, and if someone says, hey, you called me she and I'm he, or you called me he and I'm she, just be like, I'm sorry, I didn't know, and just leave it at that. The thing about people working too in retail is like a lot of people have name tags, and if you just read the name tag that says, hey, my name is Sally, hey, my name is Phil, you say, hey Phil, hey Sally, I hope you have a nice day, Phil, I hope you have a nice day, Sally. And when you don't do that, and you do something like say, "Hey, sir, who are you talking to? Really?" Because I've had people look around like, and it's also like I said, I didn't think I had to state it because it's like I thought it was obvious that I was a transgender woman, but I guess I had to like make this video to state it clearly and say, "Hey, look, you can say all these things or whatever, but just be mindful that everyone has feelings and everyone just wants to exist." That's the bottom line. And if your whole thought process is that someone existing takes away from your existence, I think you need to like re-examine things a little bit. Just be like, hey, and man, I'll get into it on Instagram with people and not even on my page. I'll just see people going off and being hateful to like for no reason to like, other trans people on Instagram and stuff. And it's like, why? And first of all, if it's showing up on your Instagram feed, first of all, that means that it's something that you've actively searched for. It's something that you go back to. So that's a whole can of worms, and you can get into all that stuff later. It's just like, if you hate someone so much, are you like hating yourself? Are you hating a part of yourself? Are you just hating the part of yourself that validates them as a woman in any regard or a man? Because this is about trans men too. Um, is it because I just don't understand it. And this is as someone who used to be on the other side, like someone who was just like, I don't understand. And I wasn't like hateful or anything. I just didn't get it because I didn't understand being gay or whatever because I was like not on that side of it. And now I'm a trans woman in a queer relationship. And it's like, things are different and things change and people change. And the only thing that changed with me is I accepted myself and I started asking the people around me after a certain amount of time, because it's been almost 9 years at this point, to start accepting me. And when that was too much, I had to go. That was one of the reasons I was so done with my job last year. I just had to leave it because I couldn't dealing with the same stuff over and over just because someone knew me before. Does not that's not who I am now. Literally a different person, like in my outlook, in my experience, in the way I'm treated, in the way I'm talked to, in the way I talk, in the way I do things, the way I dress, all that stuff. It's all different. And you're not taking the 2 seconds to acknowledge that. So my job didn't do anything about it. So I was like, all right, deuces. And now I'm start a new job on Tuesday. I'm gonna go in there at 7 a.m. for orientation. So next week will be a little fucky. I'm probably just gonna upload this, but like, man, I wish I didn't have to make this video, but I feel like I do. I feel like I do. I'm not gonna edit it or anything. I'm just gonna That's why I came in here in the computer. This is my stream of consciousness thing. I didn't want to make this a live stream because it's not about any of that. It's about just saying what I need to say and hoping that it at least makes someone think for a second and be like, huh, maybe all that shit they're saying isn't true. Because that chick just likes toys and is a fucking nerd and is like probably on the spectrum and just fucking, you know, constantly spewing off nerdy stuff or, I'm just a geek. I'm just a girl who likes toys. And it's like, let that be your first experience with a trans person. If you don't, because I'm sure you've met a trans person you didn't know at least one point in your life. But like, don't let some news outlet or media publication or politician take away your empathy and your sense of humanity, because that's what they're taking away when you're just okay with the shit that's happening, or you're part of it. It's just, I gotta stop this. I gotta stop this. I gotta. Okay.